everybody. It is Ken coming to you, not so live, from the Reverend Guitar Circle I Ranch in sunny, beautiful Toledo, Ohio. Andy Martin is still here.
Hey there.
See? Told you. And we have Kingbolts. We do. Kingbolt. This was this was conceived as the high end of the bolt-on line here at Reverend Guitars. This is a Carina body with a flame maple top. You can see it in beautiful transparent black. And this is a gorgeous version of the natural one here. The grain is really popping on that one. This is a dark violet brown back, which is enhanced by this dark roasted maple neck, left in the kiln extra long to achieve its mocha dark chocolate essence. And
it feels like chocolate too.
It does.
What's the profile on these?
It's a medium C.
Medium C.
Reverend is big on the medium C.
Yeah.
Everything is medium C.
That's great. I think those always fit my hand perfectly. I think
it's the porridge, the Goldilocks.
Yeah.
Like I'm not afraid of some Ibanez's with Floyd Roses and stuff.
Yeah.
Those 80s things with thin necks. I grew up playing those guitars. I know how to play them.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid of some baseball bats on some Jeff Beck guitars. That doesn't bother me either. But this is just what most people are comfortable with.
And I like that you always go with satin too, because there's never any sticky.
Satin? Satin.
Satin. Yeah.
Indeed. And these are the Railhammer Hyper Vintage pickups on these, so they're not as aggressive as like the Billy Corgan version or the Chisels and the other things that we've been playing around today on other videos, which you can conveniently find located right down there somewhere, maybe over there, or it might be over here if you're watching it on a desktop. You know what a desktop is? Do you have a desktop?
Does that go on your desk?
It does.
Oh.
I apparently when I open up the laptop somewhere, I'm like an old guy now. I guess people don't do that anymore. Do you do a laptop?
Yeah, occasionally. Yeah.
We're getting off the subject.
Yeah.
So, we totally dial these things in. They're set up, of course, here at the Reverend facility. Locking tuners. This is a bonite nut. Bonite is a synthetic bone.
Okay.
It's similar to having graphite kind of a thing in that it's synthetic. It's a little easier for us to work with. Mm-hmm. And it's more durable than a straight sort of graphite nut.
Okay.
It seems to work really well. We've been using them for about a year and a half. Mr. Naylor likes the vintage look of the white as opposed to having the black like we did for many years. I could go either way.
Yeah.
So people seem to dig it. And the guys in the back like it. And they're the ones that have to file on them. And then, the Wilkinson trem, which we haven't really discussed the Wilkinson trem much. Do you have a lot of experience with Wilkinson stuff?
Not really. Well, I mean, the only time I really got into them was when I saw those Reverends come in, 7 years ago when I first started demoing them. And the first thing I noticed was just the feel of it was like such a more controlled, and it didn't have this weird sort of jerkiness to it. And so that's the first thing that stood out to me,
And most of that comes from the 2-point thing as opposed to the 6-screw thing.
Yeah.
And the knife edges are very, very tight, and the steel is it's really good quality stuff. So we're not in a thing where your knife edge points are wearing down after 6 months of playing or whatever. You can be very, very aggressive with these trems, and they stay in tune.
Yeah.
Hence, Reeves, basically. And they are a lot more work to set up than a traditional trem. Because you do have to loosen these top screws before you adjust the intonation.
Right.
Go back and forth. And then you clamp it back down. And when you do, there's no loose springs in here.
Yeah.
There's nothing to come loose. You tighten it down and then just sort of snug up the little adjustment screws to it. And it is permanent. It is in place.
Yeah.
I have a couple of Wilkinsons that I've been playing for 10 years that are now literally just rusted in place. That's what you get. Because I have sweaty, gross guitar.
I'm the same way. My strings turn into barbed wire after about a week. So.
It's a really cool. Let's hear you.
Okay.
Let's hear you. You're the guest. These guys hear me. They hear me play all the time. Hyper vintage pickup. What are you going to be in the neck? What do you? Walk us through something.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right.
Show off.
I don't like to show off too much, but.
See how good those sound clean?
Yeah.
You know, people, I think they think of the rail hammers with the blades as being like a metal only thing, but no, it's a clarity thing.
Yeah.
It's like a clarity and a punchiness that comes through in clean sounds that you don't find in regular humbuckers.
Every time you kind of look down on them, you're like, oh, these are going to sound like the old whatever's overwound, you know, but they don't. They always surprise me. It's so funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I tell you, why don't you take us out with a little bit of game?
All right.
Hey, thanks for watching us, folks.
Bye-bye.